This conference will now be recorded.
All right. Good afternoon, everyone. It's the Kim and Mark show for the second week in a row. Welcome to Bridalwood Bootcamp for the second week. Kim Wetzel, Mark Robertson, your two hosts for the day. We're going to go through and we're going to do a quick recap of what we did last week and what we asked you to complete as homework. And then after that, we're going to start on our new module, Module 3, which is going to be our CRM system. What does CRM stand for, Kim?
Stands for Contact Relationship Management.
Okay.
Now, one thing just to put it out there first is that this week we were supposed to be doing product training.
There you go.
We had a very specific invite to do this before the product training by yours truly, Jeff Wetzel. So we are going to kind of go over how the CRM system works, what it is, and how your template that you should have been working on, the spreadsheet template this last week that you should have been working on, inputting your client, prospect, and lead information into, how that's going to then be uploaded into the CRM system so that instead of trying to look at a long string of text, a long line of text in a spreadsheet, instead you can look at one page profile of everything to do with that one particular client, and you can switch between the different clients.
So basically what happened, Kim, is we had product training lined up, but to do product training, we're kind of putting the cart before the horse. We want to get this down before we start with product training. Everything okay, Maddie?
I was just checking.
Maddie's our IT person. Madison Wetzel, she's.
It isn't? Okay.
Yeah, okay, good.
Okay. So she brought up a very good point.
So we're gonna have a little egg on our face here, and me and Kim, we went through and did the whole entire presentation just now for the last hour and a half.
Had a really great conversation.
Everybody
great
in the room
inputs.
was here. Everybody online was there. And when we came to the end, Kim told me, "Okay, Mark, we're done. Let's stop recording." So I went to find the stop recording button, and there was no stop recording button because we weren't recording it.
So just so you know, to being 100% transparent here, we did not record the session, so we are now recording it.
So we're gonna do it all over again. There won't be any questions, and there won't be anybody in the room.
Unfortunately, there won't be, but we'll try to make sure to remember what they were asking as good points that we weren't bringing up that they had questions about, so that you will get the full experience.
Absolutely. So when Kim's going over the CRM system, I'm going to do the first part, kind of the recap from last week, and then Kim's going to take over with the CRM system that kind of she knows what that's all about. I'm a little new to that, so she's going to take care of that, and I will let her know, hey, there was a question about this, go over this. Okay, so we'll get it all down for you guys. I apologize for this. It's just the new stuff that we don't know.
But you know what? Once you make that mistake, you won't make it again,
there
right?
You go. That's what you learn from your mistakes.
Yes.
As long as you learn from your mistakes. Okay, so we need to figure out how to click on this, and there we go.
Okay.
Did I go too many?
Nope.
Okay, there we go. So this is considered a boot camp, guys. I know the picture is kind of brutal, but we do want you guys to participate, and we do want a roll call. So we want to know who's here and who's not. Okay, so I want you to make sure that you email me when you.
I think the microphone picks it up.
This?
Yes, I hear that.
I'm talking with my hands like my dad does. Kim's trying to stop
And I do
me.
too.
So since no one's seeing us right now.
Yeah.
So anyways, so you want to do an email to me. So I want to know who's in here and who's not, and that's the only way Kim can get out everybody's stuff to them after the thing. The recorded session, you want to get that, right?
Yes.
That's why we're doing this all over again, so we make sure the people that didn't get a chance to make it in can see this and all the homework and stuff we need to send to you. We have a lot of we're going over today. So we definitely want to be able to do that.
So we need you to make sure to email Mark.
There it is right at the top.
At mark@bridalwoodinsurance.com. Mark is with a C, M-A-R-C. Please don't send it to M-A-R-K because that gentleman had to forward somebody else's from last week to us.
Which worked out, but.
It did work out, but he would probably prefer not to be inundated. So make sure to send it to Mark with a C at bridalwoodinsurance.com. We need your name, your phone number, and your email address. And the reason we need this is so that we can keep you clued in on any study materials, any handouts or slideshows, the module recaps, everything that you need, and also the links to the to watch the either the live boot camp that we're doing at the time, in sync with time, or the one that we are going to now record going forward every week.
All right.
But we do need you to send that in. If you do not send that in, you will not be receiving emails from us with the updated information, any handouts, any of that, or the links to the recorded or online version. Okay?
Okay, we don't want to beat a dead horse, but here are the people that did send something to me, and I really appreciate it. There is, if you're on this list, then you did what you were supposed to do. I've got you down.
We have
And
2 pages here,
and we will
so
send it out to you every week now. So if you don't see your name on this list or this list, here's the 2 lists. I'll let it sit up there for a second, please. Just email me really quick. It takes 10 seconds to say, hey, Mark, I was in the session. Thank you very much. Here's my email, and I'll make sure Kim gets everything out to you.
here's the reason we're doing this. There's over 300 agents in the company now, and I'm sure there's a lot of seasoned agents that could use benefit from some of this, but they probably don't want to be inundated with emails from Mark and myself. So if you can let us know that you're participating, we will be sure to get you the information. But otherwise, rather than email everything to 300 people, we're only going to email it to the people who have provided us their intention to participate.
Perfect. So there's the 2 lists. So what we're going to recap really quick, I'm going to go through this pretty quickly because you guys should have taken care of this. We're going to go through our newsletter that we created. Kim sent out the newsletter on Friday to the whole company. Thank you, Kim. Kim sent out the newsletter to the whole company on Friday, and so you should have got that. And I did mine this morning, Monday morning. This morning took me about 25 minutes to take everything Kim put as a template in Publisher and switch it over to my stuff, and I'm going to go over that with you in just a second. We're going to go over that. We're going to go over the prospect spreadsheet that Kim sent out to you. That's the green thing with
Excel spreadsheet.
Excel spreadsheet that has the big long list of all the different things that you want to fill out for your prospects and your clients. Did you get your stamp order for stamping your envelopes and a biography? Did you get your biography, the questionnaire either filled out, or contact Chanel or Kim and get the biography done? And then one last thing was the professional photo. We want to make sure you guys look professional. And Madison does it here in San Diego. We'll go over that. And if you're not in San Diego, there's other ways to do it. So next would be your newsletter. So newsletter is really quickly 2 sheets, front and back, for a total of 4 pages. Make sure you use the front and back of each page. So you, like it says, total of 2 pages. We don't want to reinvent the wheel. Kim does a very nice job with all 4 pages. What we're going to do is just switch a little bit of it, and I'm going to show you how to do that really quick. And pretty much all the stuff on here, when you print it, please put a pile into it, and I'm going to get into that in just a second. So
one thing to make sure is we try to get this out usually every month by around the 25th, but because some of the out-of-town newsletters are, because it's being mailed bulk mail, they are receiving them rather late in the month if they get them out around the 1st of the month, because bulk mail tends to sit at the post office for some time. What we were going to try and do going forward is getting it out around the middle of the month, around the 15th. That way, for those people out of the California area, when we do your newsletters and we stuff them and fold them and everything from here and send them out from here, bulk mail, they hopefully will get to your clients about mid-month of the newsletter. So for instance, if we send you the newsletter around the April 15th, you could have it up and ready and printed, and we could have it out the door hopefully within a few days. And then hopefully by May 15th, your clients would be receiving them. Because it is bulk mail, it does sit sometimes at the post office for a while.
okay, so let's jump right in here. First page of the newsletter. It's got Kim's picture. It's got Kim's name. And it's got a lot of birthdays on there for the month of May. This is the month of May newsletter. So everybody knows we're doing the month of May. What you're going to do is, your first thing you're going to do is go in there and you're going to change your picture. So you, in Publisher, all you got to do is right click on Kim's picture. It's going to have a little drop down menu. You go down to change picture. And then from it's going to have change picture. And then you go into your.
It'll ask you if you want to browse for the picture.
Browse for your picture. So you're going to go into your files, pull up your picture, and just hit insert your picture. And it's going to insert your picture right where Kim's was and get rid of Kim's.
It's also going to make it the exact same size and everything else, so you don't have to fuss around with the picture.
Then you're going to click on Kim's name right at the L in Wetzel, and you're just going to backspace it back, and then just type in your name. It's going to replace it perfectly. It's going to use that font, that color, everything. So it's nice. You don't have to do a bunch of stuff.
And if your name is really long, you may want to do is make the maybe highlight my name and the April edition or May edition, and make those fonts a little bit smaller so that there's enough room to fit your whole name on there.
And you'll learn how to play with that, because I had to. My last name's 9 letters, so I had to make my font a little bit smaller. And then over to the left, you'll see that there's birthdays. We only use first names and last initials, is that what that is?
No, this was,
Oh, she did it backwards.
this is
Now
a-
in May, we're doing it the opposite way.
We
We're
are.
doing first names,
so we were
full,
having a compliance issue.
compliant
So
issue.
we want to make sure everybody's compliant. So going forward, the rule is when we're putting in birthdays, you use the first person's first name
Full.
and, right, the full first name and then the first initial of their last name, okay?
So Sandra Bell would be Sandra B. Just
Yep.
like that, something like that, okay? Because we can't use the full names anymore for HIPAA relations, HIPAA
rules.
problem, HIPAA
Yep.
rules, things like that.
Also, most of you, if you're new, probably don't have a lot of birthdays from your clients or prospects at this point. So feel free to just take out a few of these and enter in your own personal ones, people that have birthdays the month of May or whatever month it is, and you can leave the rest in there. It makes your book of business seem much larger and more established.
Established,
Yep.
Great word. So I have about 10 that were May birthdays, so 10 on here, they're gonna see that and go, he only has 10 people on. So I just mix my 10 in there with them, so when they get my newsletter, it looks like I have all these clients, or prospects and clients, but in reality, I only have 10, which is there's nothing wrong with that, you gotta start somewhere.
Absolutely.
But
And you might only have one or none. If you've only got maybe 10 clients, you may not have anybody that has a May birthday. So this just makes the newsletter look more established.
correct. And the first page always has something very important or something that's happening right now in the Medicare world or something important
To seniors.
To seniors. So
Basically,
Kim always
it's-
puts something
yeah.
exciting.
Senior centric, something that would be appealing to them or apply to them or something that maybe they should be aware of. Like
Yes.
this last month, it was about scams that a lot of seniors are being targeted with.
And that word scams grabbed your eye.
Yeah.
Makes them want to read that. So that's a good thing.
But the one thing to keep in mind really quick about the newsletters, you want to make it fun and light and airy. You don't want this to be a Pulitzer Prize winning piece. You just want it to have enough information to make it worthwhile, but then you want to have fun things in there too to keep their attention. Most people, I'm sure you're probably one of them, if you receive something in the mail and it's just boring and dry and really doesn't apply to you, you're not going to read that whole thing. But if you've got maybe one thing in there that's of interest to you and then some other things that are more fun and everything, that's going to keep your attention more. You're going to be more likely to read it.
Absolutely. Went the wrong way. So page 2 is our jokes. This is a huge page. Jeff loves this page, the owner. You want to check and make sure whatever Kim sends you, these are Jeff's jokes usually. Kim usually browses, make sure they're not too racy, but you never know what's going to be in here. So make sure you read the jokes and it's for your clientele and it matches your
Right.
personality.
And everybody's a little different. So if you feel something in there that, is inappropriate to your group, if clientele or prospects, please be sure to change it out. We do not want to offend or upset anyone. But we do want to keep it, light and friendly too. I have from Jeff's experience as well, we tend to make ours just a little bit racy because we have learned over the years that our clientele, our specific clientele, loves the joke section. More than times than I can count, I sit down with clients or I get a call from a client and they're like, I just love the newsletter and I really love the jokes. So just keep in mind who your clientele is, and your prospects are, and make sure it's appropriate to them.
Absolutely. Page 3 is another more of a fun page. Doesn't need to really grab you, but it's fun. I know this month has a a word search in it,
Yeah.
And it has fun facts. Lots of cool fun facts, fun things, and it could also be a company that that's helped you out in the past.
Right. Yeah.
Like
if you have, if you have a local resource that maybe would be interesting to the senior group, then put it in there. Put an advertisement in for somebody that you're, a friend of yours or somebody that has a great business that applies to seniors. Nothing wrong with that. And again, this page is kind of more or less open to you to do whatever you want with. I try to keep it kind of neutral so that anybody can use it. But if you, in your area, if you're out of the state, or out of San Diego area, want to put something else in there, certainly do that.
Absolutely.
This is your newsletter. Customize it to fit your needs and your people.
And also the 90+ birthday club is on here.
Yes.
People love it. People that make it over 90.
That's a big milestone for them. So
Exactly.
They absolutely love to see their name in lights. Make sure to keep that in there.
So that's on page 3. And then the last page really quick, page 4 is the most important page. This is your self-branding page. This tells them about you. This is your calling card at the bottom. This is like a business card to them every month so they don't forget who you are. and then the personal notes. You're always going to want to, well, first let's go back to the top. The top is referrals. So anybody that's referred business to you, they did you a huge service and they've helped your business out. So mention them up here, thank them for that. They love to see that. And it's nice to see that you're thanking your customers.
And make sure not only to, thank them here, but send them a thank you letter or a thank you card. And if you don't have a thank you letter, we have one that we've created here. It's a template. We'll certainly send it to you if you'd like. It acknowledges them, the person that sent you the referral, and it acknowledges who they referred to you so that they remember too. But it's a great way to stay in touch with your clients and show them that little extra appreciation because they've done you a big favor by doing this.
Totally. And then so the personal notes, you'll see that Kim throws some pictures in of the family, whatever they did that month. They probably did some traveling. They do a lot of traveling. But if you don't do a lot of traveling, you don't have an exciting thing, tell them about your kids, your grandkids, whatever you want to tell them about.
We have one client or agent that writes about her cat. So I mean,
every month, and it catches their attention. They
Yep.
like to learn
They
about the
just
cat.
want to know about you. They want to feel a personal connection to you. So the more personal you make it, the better. They will feel a strong relationship with you.
Absolutely. So if you put yourself out there, they're going to put themselves out there. They're going to trust in you more and want to open up to you about their doctors and their healthcare. Healthcare is a personal thing, and you want them to trust you and let them know that you're out there for them too. And then at the bottom, of course, you're going to change the Kim part to whatever your name is, Mark Robertson.
Absolutely. Make sure to change that. I had actually somebody that sent their newsletter back. They had changed the picture on the front, but they didn't change it here, and they didn't change their contact information. So I was just going to say, they just did me a big favor because I was going to get a bunch of phone calls. But anyway, enough joking. You really do want to make sure to put your contact information here. This is your personal branding page.
Yes, so make sure that's done. Okay, that's enough of the recap. But do not staple your newsletter. Make sure these are the 5 important things that you don't want to do if you're going to have us take care of your newsletter and stuff it for you into an envelope. So you don't want to staple it. You want to make sure it's not stapled. You want to make sure it's printed on both sides. So 2 pages for 4 pieces for 4 sides is 2 pieces of paper. Do not use envelopes with pull tab. Make sure they're the sticky kind of envelopes. The number 10s that have a lick and stick thing that is not
a lick and stick, but just something it's got a flap that you have to lick or wet to seal it.
Right.
Because the machinery we use has a little brush in there that will put the wet it, and then there's a part of this machine that will also push it shut. So definitely want to make sure not to use pull tabs. If you do use pull tab envelopes, you're going to be stuffing your own envelopes because the machine cannot accept it. It won't take them.
And also do not collate. That just means make 2 stacks of separate page 1 and 2, page 3 and 4. Page 1 and 2 is one stack, page 3 and 4 is the other.
Do not collate. Don't have page 1, 2, 3, 4, and then the next set of 1, 2, 3, 4. You want them in 2 separate stacks. That's the way that the machine will pull them through best.
So moving over real quick to the client and prospect spreadsheet. Remember, data is everything. We talked about that last week. You want to make sure your data is very easy to deal with, and you want as much data out there as possible to make your job easy and to be able to have good rapport with your clients and prospects. So right here is what we showed you last week. You want anything from the red box, which is right here.
The red column.
That red column V, you see it on the screen. Anything from that to the left, which would be this stuff right here. So you want their first name, last name, spouse's first name and last name if they have one.
It's very, very important if they do have if it's a set of spouses, to make sure to fill it out in this format, because this will be very key when we go to pull information from the spreadsheet for mailing. When it comes to the mailers, they're very specific about how it goes through on the envelope printer, and it has to have certain columns. So make sure to keep the spouse's information separate.
And you want to definitely have the address, apartment number, city, and I keep going the wrong way. City and state, and then zip code. And then over here, this is a phone number, cell number, spouse's cell, email. All this stuff's very, very important. Date of birth is huge. You've got to have a date of birth.
Absolutely.
You got to know when they're 65 or when they're 66, or if they're not 65, when are we going to mail to them? And we need to know all this information. There's the red column. So anything to the left of the red column we need.
It's not that we need it, but it will be very helpful to you down the road. The more you fill out on the spreadsheet in general, the more complete you make it, the more information you're going to have, which is going to,
benefit you in the long run.
Absolutely,
Yes,
benefit
exactly.
you the most.
So you'll see that Kim has put all kinds of columns in here that she has realized doing this for so many years, she's done it, that this is all important stuff that when she gets a phone call from somebody or makes a phone call, these are the questions that these people are going to be asking. You need to know, what plan am I on, Kim? You're on the F plan from United Healthcare. You're in a supplement F plan. You have a Silver Scripts prescription drug plan. Boom, she knows that. And she knows your husband or your wife is on the MAPD UHC plan 1.
And
So
keep in mind too that all of this information, not all of it, but everything to the left and some of the stuff to the right of that red bar or red column will then be uploaded into the CRM system, which we're going to talk about after this.
Yes.
So the more complete you make this spreadsheet, the more complete your profiles will be for your clients inside the CRM system.
So you'll notice that Kim didn't put any columns in here that aren't important. So she didn't have, there's no wasteful columns. When I was filling mine out this weekend and getting mine up to date, which I've been lazy on, that all these columns make good sense. I'm like, oh, that's perfect. I need that column. I need that column. So this is what we're going to need for us to mail anything for you. A newsletter, a Turning 65 letter, a mailer for a presentation you're going to be doing coming up. You want to mail out to somebody. So when you send us stuff, this is an Excel spreadsheet. This is what we need to have. This is
What we suggest you do is basically go into your client and prospect spreadsheet and copy and paste these particular columns from that spreadsheet into a blank spreadsheet. That way you've got their first name, last name, the email, or their address line, their city, state, and zip. These are the columns needed for any of the mailers we do, as Mark said. Any T65 letters, newsletters, whatever it is.
Okay, moving forward, the stamp for your envelopes. If you use your own envelopes or if you use our envelopes, good from the office of Paul Miller, call me at this number. These are always good to personalize your envelopes. They're going to see a bunch of mail that comes through for Medicare stuff. You want to make it, grab their attention, make them open it. This guy looks like he's we have the best of. We were voted the best insurance provider. So they want to know who this is coming from. So anything you can put on there as a rubber stamp and go through and stamp your envelopes. Kim, we do it up to 150 to kind of go into
Yeah, so if you're in the San Diego area here, you can just stop by the office and pick up a box of bridalwood envelopes, just the generic regular bridalwood envelopes that you see in the picture here, minus that stamp. And when you get your stamp created, you're just going to go through and stamp each of those envelopes and then bring that back to us along with your printed newsletter, and we will put it through the machinery. If you are outside of the San Diego area, clearly you're not going to be able to do that. So what we'll do is for the first 150 clients and prospects you have on your list, we will stamp your envelopes for you, okay? If you're going to take the time to personalize it as a bridalwood newsletter and print it out and take the effort and put it in there, we will have office staff that will then help stamp the envelopes for you, up to 150. After that, it's very time consuming and we've got other things that we need to be doing too. So what we will do at that point, once you get to that 150 mark, we would suggest that you consider going online to the Bridalwood website and ordering your own personalized envelopes. And then you can have them sent directly when they get printed, have them mailed directly here to Bridalwood, and we will keep them for you and let you know when we're getting close to the end and you can order more. One quick thing on that, if you do order your envelopes, personalized ones, make sure you keep it at under maybe 2,000, 2,500 envelopes, because we don't have that much storage space here to hold thousands and thousands of envelopes for everybody, okay?
A lot of agents have to.
Yeah.
So, okay, bouncing over to the professional. This is from last week. This Wild Bill Murray here, one of our top agents. You want a picture that looks like that. He's smiling, his hair's groomed, he's in a nice suit. That's what you want people to see. That's like
professional background.
That's someone that is going to want to do business with you, want you in their house at their kitchen table talking about Medicare. This person is not going to you're not going to want to do business with this person right here. This person looks shady. I don't know what he's selling, but we don't want it. Okay, so make sure you have a professional picture just like this. That's easy. Okay, and the way we do that is if you're in the San Diego area, Madison Wetzel, Kim's daughter, Jeff's daughter, she is a professional photographer. She can do it right here in our office. She has the lighting equipment. She just did Vicky, one of our Bridalwood boot campers.
Brand new boot camper.
Brand new boot camper. Just went back there and she said, wow, that was really easy. She set up a lighting, boom, took some professional shots, and now she's got her professional picture, and it cost her $0.
This is so, so, so important to have a professional picture. You're going to be using this so much going forward. You're going to use it on your newsletters. You're going to use it on your business cards. You're going to use it on any kind of a mailer you create to send out. Any kind of marketing material. If you want to have a personalized trifold to put up in doctors and dentists and pharmacies and stuff like that. Anything that you would normally personalize with your picture, you're going to need this set up for you. So it's worthwhile to have it done right the first time. If you're here in San Diego, Maddie does a great job. If you're outside of the San Diego area, Penny's does a great job. Sears, I know, takes great pictures. All you need is one professional picture, and they usually don't charge you just too much. It's usually somewhere in the $50 range.
I got mine done. I didn't know Madison at the time, a couple years, 2.5 years ago when I got mine done. And I used JCPenney, and it was like $39 or $49, and they did a great job. They did a great job, and I got a perfect picture.
They'll Photoshop it for you a little bit if you need any.
Look pretty.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's tough. They can make me look decent.
Me too.
Okay, so that's basically our recap for this last week that we went over everything. So get this stuff done, guys. This is important that you keep a system going and just keep following through with all these little things. And once we get through with the boot camp, you'll be ready to turn this key over and be ready to start selling. So Kim's going to go into this next little section here. Let me get to the right spot. So
Okay.
this is considered our target lead management system, and this is what Kim has been using for a few years now. I'm new to it. I'm learning it. I've been learning it for a couple weeks now. When I say I'm new to it, I'm pretty new to it. So I'm getting mine all dialed in. So I'm going to listen to what Kim has to say. There will be no questions because, as we told you, there was a lot of questions, and I'm going to try and remember.
Yeah, we'll recap them if we can.
We'll try and remember to recap certain things. I'll let Kim know, hey, remember there was a question about this. But as far as this goes, she's going to we have a screen up on the other screen that we're going to throw up there, and she's going to do some tutorials that she can show you actually the CRM system.
Yeah, we'll have a kind of a live interactive at some points here too. So we're going to switch back and forth between the PowerPoint and the live interactive.
So bear with us when I switch back and forth. Kim will let me know when she wants to switch.
Okay.
And we'll go from there.
All right.
So Kim, you start talking. What's the next one is this. So you want to start here?
Well, yeah, so we're going to start here. So, but before we even get into the CRM system, I want to apologize. We had originally decided we were going to work with going over product information this week, and we have had to push that out 1 week. Jeff really felt like in prior boot camps, we had not taken the step of actually going through and going through the CRM system. And so there, although a lot of people knew we had one, most of them didn't use it. So he felt like if we really kind of walked you through step by step how to work with it, how to input information, and then also how it benefits you, that this would be something that more people would take advantage of. And we really should, because this is, as we can see on the screen here, it is free. It's free to you. It's provided to Bridalwood by Target Leads Management, which they are also a lead service. We do not purchase leads through them, but they have been kind enough to let us use their CRM system. So it's free to you. It's easy to use. It's private, so when you upload your data in there for your clients and prospects, nobody else can see it, nobody else can access it, okay? We can walk you through how to do certain things with it, but it is your information. You can feel confident that you're going to have a login username and a password, and you're the only one that can access your client information. So we don't want you to feel like this is some play where we can then go in and harvest all your information. It's not the case. This is specifically designed so that everybody has their own personal CRM system, okay? It's easy to use. It should be the first thing you open up every morning. The first thing you open up when you turn on your computer should be your email and your target lead management system, okay? Your CRM system.
Get into good habits, good habits.
Absolutely. Yep.
That's what I need to do. So my first thing I open up is my email, and then after that is usually a provider list or start making phone calls. So I've got to get in the habit as well of using the new CRM system. So I'm going to start good habits too.
But what's good about this, Mark, is that you're going to realize that, like you were saying, you open up sometimes a provider list or a call list. Right. This is going to put some of those call lists right at your fingertips. So this should be one of the very first things you open up in the morning, and it should stay open all day long. Because as you're at your desk and as you're taking phone calls, and you got somebody calls in and has a question for you, or wants you to talk about something you were discussing with them 3 weeks ago, or maybe they moved and they need you to change their address, whatever the case might be, when they call in, you want to make sure to take notes about what the call is about. Or even if you go out and meet with someone, you want to put the meeting notes in there as well. And this will be a way for you to do that. It's going to keep you organized. It's going to keep you disciplined in doing this all the time.
How do I get the system?
So, yeah.
How do I find it on the internet, or what do I do?
Right. So it's a web-based system, and so what we'll do is have you email either Chanel or Madison here at Bridalwood, and they can provide you with the link to the login. And once you get that link and you open it up, make sure to save that as a favorite. That should be one of the first things that pops up on your toolbar on your browser screen, okay? You want to be able to see it right in front of you every morning, and it reminds you to open it up. So you're going to get the link from Chanel or Madison. You're also going to get a username and password from them. Their emails are on the screen here, but Chanel's is Chanel@bridalwoodinsurance.com, and Chanel is SHANELL, 1 N, 2 L's. And Madison is just like it sounds. So Madison@bridalwoodinsurance.com. They're going to provide you like I said, the link, the username, and the password. All right.
There we go. What it looks like.
Right.
It's daunting.
It is.
It scared me the first time I looked at it.
It is a lot to take in when you're just looking at it for the very first time, but please don't be intimidated or daunted by it, because we're going to show you how each of these little sections works and how it brings a lot of organization to your group of clients and prospects and puts everything at easy fingertip access. All right. So it's going to be one of the most useful tools you have, and it's also going to be very, you want it to be accessible all the time. All right?
Right there, just what she said right there in red.
Keep it.
Most useful tool you'll ever have on there.
It really is. One of the most useful marketing tools is going to be your newsletter. One of the most useful organizational tools is going to be the CRM system. Okay, so here on the first part of the screen, you'll see this is towards the top left-hand side of the page. This is going to be the client's and his or her spouse's name, first name, last name. If it's a junior or senior, you can put that in there. It's going to have their date of birth. It says social security number, but if you are working with a lot of these newer seniors that have gotten the new revised Medicare cards, they now have a random Medicare number. And so what you're going to want to do is put that information in this SSN field. Here's the deal with the CRM system. Because it is given to us to use for free, we have no way to customize these different fields. So you'll see a field name like first name, last name, date of birth, whatever it is. We use some of these fields for other reasons, but we can't change the name, unfortunately. It would really be nice if we could. So if we could say, instead of SSN number, we could say Medicare number. But you just have to know that that's where you keep the Medicare number, okay? And again, keep in mind, each of these fields corresponds with a column on that spreadsheet we sent you. So the more complete you make those columns, the more complete these profiles will be for your clients and prospects, okay? Next screen is going to show you things like the client's plan type that they have, their phone numbers, their address, their email if they have one. You'll see here there's also a couple of other fields like anniversary and favorite color. You're probably not going to need to use those too much for your Medicare agents. But what's nice about those is that you can, since it's not a column you're going to use for anything else, you could make the anniversary column. Maybe it's the date you sign them up. Maybe it's their Part B start date. Maybe it's the name of their doctor. Whatever you want to do, you just need to be consistent and make sure that that column is used for every one of your clients and prospects, but you can use those columns for anything you want, okay?
Like you have the company column up there, you have
right,
plan.
So you'll see that, yes, perfect, Mark, that you pointed that out. The third line down you'll see it says company, and right below it, it says SIC description. You could put maybe the husband's plan information in the first one, and then the second line you could put the wife's. That way when they call in and they say, yeah, I have this plan and I wanted to know if I should change to a different type of plan. Well, you can look over here and see exactly what plan they're in. Maybe they think that they need to change their prescription drug plan. You can see that too. It just gives you easy access to that so that you come across as very knowledgeable, you're on top of it, and they, from their standpoint, you seem like you know everything about them. So you seem like their best friend, really. And in reality, it's just a computer program that's keeping you organized and keeping their information in front of you.
Kim, if I call up Mrs. Jones, my client, and I tell her I know her favorite color, she's doing business.
Yeah, or her dog's name.
Your dog's name and your favorite color, your dog's favorite color.
Yeah.
I mean, come on. This is all
Do
kind
dogs
of stuff.
see in color? I don't even know.
But this is good information, guys. If you have any kind of stuff like this, any kind of personal information on these people, it really helps with rapport. They're, like we said on the newsletter, they're going to trust you more.
Yep.
Anytime you know stuff about this, they're going to be excited.
So
Moving forward,
once your spreadsheet has been uploaded, so here's the deal. You should have already been working on this, but if you haven't, let's get started on it. Let's get your spreadsheet for your clients and prospects. Let's get that completed. And if you have one, that's great. If you have 100, that's great. If you are thinking, who could I add to it? Anybody that you know is potentially a prospect. If it's a friend of yours, even if they're not 65, if they're close or within 10 years, you can keep dripping on them, and it's going to be a great source of referrals for you down the road, because they're going to go, you know, I know exactly who I'm working with. I'm working with Mark for my Medicare needs because he's been sending me these great newsletters for years.
yeah. And everybody has a set of parents, so
Yes,
you never know if you're
parents,
a friend of yours that might be the same age as you might be a younger person. They
business
have parents.
Acquaintances. Mark uses it for what do you use?
Yeah. My networking group. I have a networking group. I have 2 networking groups, and I send them my newsletter. What does a networking group do for you? They help you find leads and referrals. So who's better to send that to than your networking group, so they know what you're sending out to their clients? It works out perfect.
It's great. Let's see. So anyway, if you once you get your spreadsheet uploaded into the CRM system, you will then now be able to add new clients and prospects here rather than on the spreadsheet. I will tell you personally, I enter my new clients and prospects on both sources, and the reason is that there's only so many fields on this CRM system, and there is important information that you may need when you're dealing with clients down the road, such as when their Part A or B turned on, maybe who their doctor was or their dentist. Maybe you want to make a note of right now they're currently on an employer plan. They're going to retire in 2 years, and you want to have some of that information in there. So there's certain fields on the CRM system that they don't have a field for, the same field that's on your columns of your spreadsheet. So you're going to want to fill in those spreadsheets with that information as well. So as we were saying before, everything to the left of the red column on the spreadsheet is information that can be uploaded to the CRM system. Everything to the right of it is information that might be useful to you, but may not have a field for it in the CRM system. Okay, so I keep up both. It's up to you. But when you want to, you can add a new lead or a new prospect or client right into the CRM system. So let's go to the next screen. You'll see here, if you click on new lead, which is in the upper right-hand corner, it's going to open up a whole new window. It's going to not close down the one you're in, but it's just going to open up a new one. In here, you can put in all of your client or prospects information, their name, their date of birth, their phone numbers, their plans that they're looking at or whatever, their email, anything you want to put in there about that person that you've gotten. But the one really super important thing is after you've entered all that information, you have to hit the add button down in the left corner there. That's what's actually going to create the new profile in the CRM and implement all that information into the right fields. If you do not hit add, you will lose all the information you just typed in. So please hit add, okay? Once you've entered it, you're going to see that it will populate the normal screen with all of that client or that lead's information. All right. So there's a lot there. So at this point, why don't we switch over to, I'm going to open up a live tutorial that we're going to do together. So it kind of walks you through it, and you can actually see the the CRM system at work. So this is the front page of the CRM system. This has got a client and his wife pulled up. It's a made-up client, John and Jane Doe. As you can see here, as little or as much information as you put in is what's going to populate. So if they have a, John Doe Jr., you might want to put Doe, comma, Jr., whatever it is, or put it in the suffix line. Social Security number is here, but you don't have to. If you have their Medicare number, that's even better to put in there. Their date of birth. If you do put in a full date of birth, month, date, and year, the system will automatically calculate their age for you. And so every time you open this up, if you open this up 2 years from now, you're going to see that John is at that point 67 and Jane is 68, okay? But you have to have the year in there. If you don't have the year for their date of birth, this field won't even populate. It's just a quirk of the system, okay? To the left there is where you're going to see the company name. What we've done is use that field to put in the client's preferred plans, the plans that you've enrolled them in. You'll see their phone numbers, their cell phones, or whatever. Let's say for the anniversary field, or I'm sorry, for their favorite color field, that we want to enter in their doctor. So we're going to put in Dr. Patel. Oops, help if I can spell right. We'll put in Dr. Patel. And that way it keeps you, it always has right there front and center what the name of their doctor is, so that when they call you back and they say, you know what, my doctor retired, I need a new doctor, you can say, oh yeah, I see, Dr. Patel was your doctor, right? Let's move you to someone else that's with Sharp. Or you could even say behind Dr. Patel, Sharp, he's with Sharp Steely, or he's with Scripps Coastal, or whatever it is. You'll see also in the center here, you'll see the general notes section. For the general notes section, oh, and I need to get my thing over here. When you populate why does it show a note here?
Well, because that's not what they're seeing. They're seeing this. They're seeing this.
Oh, that's right. Okay. So under the general notes, I'm sorry, we're kind of confused because we're switching between two different screens. But under the general notes section, when you look at the template we sent you for the spreadsheet, you'll notice to the very far right side was a section for notes. That is the section that I always put, as Mark will attest, I put copious notes in there, put pages and pages of notes.
Put a lot of notes.
But what will happen is when you have this uploaded to the system from the spreadsheet, it will put all those notes right here. But then you'll see just to the right of that, you'll see the call notes. These call notes are, okay, yep, that's right here. The call notes are this section here. So let's say, for instance, you'll see there's already one there and it's time-stamped. That's the system itself time-stamping it for you. But if you're like me, sometimes I'll go out to a meeting and it'll be a couple days or a week later before I actually get around to putting in the notes. So what I would usually do is, even though it's going to timestamp it with today's date and time that I enter this, I'm going to put in that I met with them on 4/20/2019. And then I'm going to start to put my notes in about what we met about, what we talked about. And after you've entered all your notes, so I'm just going to type something here. After you've entered the notes, you're going to want to click this button, which is directly above the section you entered the notes in. Now, it's really super important. If you look down below, you'll see it has added that note. But if you don't save at the very top of the screen here where this save button is, if you do not save it here, that note will not be saved. And you will, you'll have lost everything you input. So you have to make sure whenever you enter a note to save it in two places. First, you're going to save it here. Click this button to save. And then you're going to scroll up here just a little bit above it and hit the save button at the top.
I don't need to hit the save button, Kim?
No, that's after you make adjustments to it. Let's say I added something to a note. Yeah, you want to save it.
Okay,
yep.
Gotcha. Thank you.
Okay, so you click this button to save. All right, and then you have to go right above it and click the save button there as well.
Okay, real quick, I'm going to stop you, Kim.
Yep.
I remember a few questions that we had.
Sure.
One of was, do they make this as a mobile application on your phone?
They do. So this application can be opened up on any web-based device, whether it's an iPad, a laptop, a tabletop, an Android, or your phone. It does open up on your phone. It's a little bit hard to read on the phone because it's going to have, everything's either going to be more condensed or you're going to have to scroll through to get to different fields, but it does open up there.
So from what Maddie had told us, it's not a mobile app. You can't you can't go get an app for it. You can't go into your app and go get an app for it, but it does have a mobile application as far as you can read it on your phone.
Exactly.
And it is able to be working on your phone.
You just open it up in one of your browsers, Google or Explorer or whatever, sign into it, and then you should be able to see it on your phone. Now, I would suggest that to you that it probably makes more sense to look at it on an iPad or a laptop if you're sitting with a client. It just makes it easier to see the information.
Right. Going back, I forgot to have you ask this question, Kim. When you're doing the newsletters or the envelopes, can I, if let's say I have Mark's insurance company, not Bridalwood, I'm not using Bridalwood, can I use my own envelopes? And
You can.
How does that work?
We would prefer, if you're brand new in the business, we would prefer that you start to market yourself under the Bridalwood name. You'll find that in most areas, it has a pretty good presence, and so it's going to just benefit you that much more. But if you have another business, such as you do P&C insurance or life insurance, or you do something totally different, maybe you sell real estate, and you have your own stationery, you have your own envelopes, you can certainly feel free to use your own envelopes. You could, if you wanted to, even incorporate information about your other business in your newsletter so that you're reaching out to not just your Medicare agents, but to maybe your real estate agents or your other insurance agents, or clients, I'm sorry, not agents. So just make sure that you utilize the resources we're giving you in whatever way it makes sense for you. Okay?
Perfect. Continue on. Would you like
All
to?
right. So after we've saved a note, you'll see that it showed right below there. So you've got your general notes, which was the ones from the very beginning when you first established the relationship. And then as you have a phone call or a meeting or something, and you want to make sure to make notes about it, you'll enter it over here under the call notes. All right. If you look just directly to the left of that, you'll see something called the lead status. This is the area where you can actually select and put in a callback. If you hit callback, it's going to say here that you have to add must call, or you have to add to the must call list. So let me show you where that is. You'll see right down here, there is a must call, and you would check that box and you would enter the date that you're going to call them back on and the time. And then you could even put right here below it in the notes section what it is you're going to talk to them about during that call. Maybe they've just moved in and you want to change their PDP plans. Maybe they turned 65 and we already put them on a plan, and now their wife is going to turn 65 and you put it ahead, a year or 2 years or whatever ahead, and now you've got a reminder to call them back about, now Jane needs to sign up. Whatever it is, you can put some description here. The thing to keep in mind again is you're going to want to, as soon as you enter that, go up to the top button here and hit save. That way that information is saved. If you don't hit save, you will lose that information as well.
Grief, Kim, this thing does everything. Does it call the client for you?
I wish.
This thing
that's
everything you
that's
need.
in 2.0. But you'll see there's a lot of different things you can select here. You could mark this as a new lead. You could mark this as maybe you want to set up an appointment in the future. Maybe you had your initial appointment with them 6 months out. You went through the entire ABCs of Medicare and how it all works, and you've talked about the plans with them, and they're pretty sure what plan they want. And now you want to set an appointment so that you're within 3 months of them turning 65, and you're going to come back, maybe 3 months from now, and you're going to sign them up.
And it's got a calendar over here too.
It does.
That's cool.
Well, the calendar pops up when you when you click on must call or on an appointment. Yep, and then you can just choose your appointment date from there. And then you can put your time frame in that you want to set the appointment for. All right. It also allows you to, down below here, you can select if maybe the application was selected, or maybe it was rejected, or what the reason was. If it was sold, you can actually hit the drop-down menu here, and maybe not. I guess I have to add things there. But this is a very useful area. What you'll see is as you add calls or appointments to this, at the very top of the page here, you're going to see appointments today. So I marked both of these, both the callback and the appointment for today's date, so that you could see that up here, the appointments today, if I click on that, it's going to actually show me who it is I'm calling back today. So in other words, if I was in here and I was on somebody else's profile and I click appointments today, I might have 5 appointments set up, and it's going to tell me their names, their address, and everything about that appointment that I've input. If I click on, let's say, people to call today, it's going to show me the people I have to call right here, John Doe. If I click on people to call in general in the future, it's going to show me anybody I have to call going forward. So there's a lot of ways you can use this, especially when you're trying to do mailers or that type of thing. There'll be ways that you can pull information about specific set of clients, and then that will be your list that you're going to mail to, whether maybe it's all your prospects, or maybe it's anybody that's within 6 months of turning 65, or whatever the criteria is. There'll be ways that you can search for that criteria and then create a call list from it, or a mailing list from it.
So Kim, it looks like, you're telling me when I get up, when I get to work in the morning, or when I start working, starting my day, I'm gonna open my email,
Yep.
and then I'm gonna open this system.
Right.
And it sounds like to me that I'm gonna be looking at this up here at the very top.
At the very top.
That's gonna tell me what I'm
That'll be your first thing. Yep.
my basic, I'm gonna have some people to call, I might have an appointment, so that's what you're basically gonna be looking at.
Right.
To start with.
And the only real drawback that we've kind of come across with this is that it does not have, at this point that we know of, it does not have the ability to sync with maybe your Google or your Outlook calendar. That would be great if it did. But if you open up this and you say, I have one person to call today or whatever, you could potentially copy and paste that and just put it into your calendar. Okay? Yeah.
And this is also available on the mobile app. I mean, not an app, but you can see it on your phone. So if you had to use this system, it could work.
Right. If you weren't going into the office or you weren't at your desk, you could pull it up there.
Pull it up and see what you got going on.
Absolutely.
Today. Absolutely.
Yep. Let's go through a few other things here. At the very bottom left of the page, you'll see something called lead category. That is where you're going to designate what this person is. If this person's a lead, if it's a prospect that you've already been contacted with and you're following up with to hopefully get the sale down the road. And remember, what does Jeff say about prospects? They either buy or they die, but that's the only way they get off your list. So they're always a prospect if they're not a client, okay? If you've had some sort of contact with them. And you could even put your clients here. You could there's any number of different categories you could put here. In order to do that, you would click on this little plus sign, and you'll see I have a few different categories here, but you could add a new category. You could click on new category, and I could say under 65 leads. Okay, and hit OK, and you'll see that, and you're going to add it. Always add. You're either going to add or save whenever you're getting out of an area. And there you go. It shows up as a under 65 lead. If I go back to the plus button, you'll see it's now been, well, it should have been added.
You'll see it's not there.
For some reason, because it should be.
Hit done.
New category. Hit OK, right? Okay. We'll figure that one out. But anyway, yes, you can add in new categories. And once you do create a category, it should save it. Let's try it one more time. Let's do it. New category. Maybe under 65 lead. And hit OK. And then hit add. And now hit save. Let's see if that works. Now if I open this back up, there it is. See?
Always hit save, Kim.
Yeah, I know. I just said hit add and hit save. Add and save, clearly. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and we can, and so to show you how to delete those, if you go in here to the little negative button or minus button, then it should, maybe highlight it and then do that.
There you go.
And hit delete. There we go. So now it's back to just being my prospect. All right, very good. So that's really important. So if you noticed on the spreadsheet template we sent out to you, there was a column that you were supposed to, denote on there, is this a client or is this a prospect? If you make a good habit of it, and if you actually fill in that column, when this gets uploaded to your CRM system, this will already be pre-populated for you, okay?
Okay, one of the questions, Kim, I remember that came in, and this is perfect, you can go over it right now while you're in the tutorial. Can you make email groups, mailing lists?
Sure.
How do you do that?
Absolutely. So now let's say you've entered this, and let's say this is when you open your your CRM system in the morning, this is the first person that shows up because he just happens to be alphabetically your first person, right?
Okay.
Now you go over here to this go to in the upper right hand corner, there's a go to button, and you start typing in a name such as Doe, okay? And I click on John Doe. It opens up that person's profile.
Okay.
If I click on, let's say, Johnson, then you'll see that there's a number of names here, and you could click on Johnson, or if you, let's say it's a husband and a wife, you could scroll down and click on a name. But you click on it, and when you click on that name, it brings up that person's information. So let's go back to Doe here. Once you're in here, now let's say you've gotten that person's profile pulled up, you get a phone call, you start typing your information. Now, that's one scenario. When you first get in the morning, you want to make sure that this is open. Let's say now you want to search and you want to pull up everybody that lives within a certain zip code and that are prospects, because you want to do a mailing to them. You want to send a mail out to your prospects. You can go here and click on Kim's prospects or your prospects, and then you can go over here, and in the zip code you can go 92128, and you can go, if you wanted to, you could even put in a date of birth, and if you wanted to, you could make it from, let's say, maybe January 1st to June 30th. You want to do the first 6 months of the year. You could go in here, and under the type, you would hit between, and you could put, I want to click all my clients in that zip code that were born between 01, let's see, tab 01, tab 1953, and let's say 01/01/1954.
So what you're basically saying, Kim, on this is that there's huge advanced filters. You can filter it
Absolutely,
down as far as you
absolutely.
want.
And the more detailed information you put in, the more it will drill down into that client or prospect base. And once you've filled in everything you want to pull up, you can hit search, and
And it came up.
all right, yeah. So I don't know what that was all about.
I remember Maddie saying we have to hit reset every time we want to start a new
Right,
thing.
but we just started this, so that's odd that it did that. Oh, you know what? Let's do something. Let's just get rid of this altogether. Maybe we just put in too much information. Okay, so now we're going to see, we have Kim's prospects and the zip code.
What is it telling you it's doing?
I don't know. Let's just do this again. Okay, Kim's clients, 92128, and hit search.
There we go.
You know what it was telling me? It was telling me I didn't have any prospects that I had a date of birth
Tells you
for
to get to
in
work.
that. Yeah, that's what it was telling me. Get back to work.
Okay.
But you'll see here, these are all of my clients in that certain particular zip code. You could search, let's say someone calls in and she says, you know what, my name is Phyllis. And you go through your entire conversation and you forgot to ask Phyllis what her last name was. I can type in Phyllis here and hit search, and it's going to tell me all of the Phyllises I have. Let's use a name I know I have. Let's use,
Linda. You gotta know Linda.
I have Linda's. I do, I have Linda's. Let's go ahead and hit search.
There you go.
There you go. So you can see I've got several Lindas. And then it might help you narrow it down. If you click on them, it's going to actually bring up their profile. And you can say, oh, yeah, nope, she's in Ramona. It's not that Linda. It must have been the other Linda. And then you can go back and pull up the other Linda. But there's a lot of ways you can use this. You can use this to pull mailing lists. You can use it to pull up specific, like I just did with the names, if you can remember the first or last name, but you can't really remember the other.
That's a lot when you get,
Yeah.
I remember this person. I can't remember exactly.
I remember somebody named John referred this guy to me, but I can't remember which John. Sometimes it just takes seeing it in black and white for you to remember who it was.
Couldn't agree more.
Yeah.
And there's your copious notes.
Yeah.
That's always good to have. And then I remember one of the questions was it does timestamp every note you put in here for
On the call notes,
If
yeah.
you put in a call note for today, it timestamps.
So if I just type in something here and I click this button, it's going to save it. And you'll see it saves it right here, and right above it, it's got the, yep, absolutely.
And you gotta hit save again if you want to save it.
If you want to save it. So I'm just going to delete it because we don't need that note. But you'll see here, somebody else asked us a question too. Is there a character limit? And I will tell you, I take tons and tons of notes. And to this point, I have never seen
If Kim hasn't hit the rev limiter on it, then it doesn't exist.
I don't think there is a character limit, but there could be. At this point, we were gonna say no.
If you find it, let us know.
Yeah. So I think that's about it. Now, again, this was a ton of information to take in. We're gonna do a recap again next week. So if you hit any snags while you're working with this week or over the weekend, let us know. We're gonna make sure to, we'll take questions during our next session also, so that if somebody, while they were working with it, came up with a good question, we'll use that as well.
Okay, so what we basically did is Kim got off of the main screen on what the PowerPoint presentation was and went into a live tutorial for you. So now we're back on the PowerPoint. What you're seeing is back to the PowerPoint. So I'm gonna have Kim blast through this, and she probably covered a lot of this.
I covered most of this,
so
I think.
You can click on this button right here, Kim, and we'll click through the next ones.
Can I?
Yeah, hit it again.
Okay.
There you go.
Okay, yeah, so
And
basically
you go backwards, you roll it.
yeah, so basically we covered all this, the call notes, the lead status, you have to hit the must call button to check it and put the date and time that you want to call back on. And again, a great reminder here, always remember to save in two places when you're saving a note. You want to make sure you save it.
Just like exactly. So just like when we made up a new category list, we didn't save it, and that's why it wouldn't show it to us.
Yep, so every time you're finished inputting something for that particular client, make sure to hit the save button at the top right-hand corner.
Just get in that habit. Everything you do, every time you type, hit save.
Yep. And again, just to recap, the first task you should have every day is to open your email and your CRM system, okay?
Email and CRM.
And listen to voicemails.
Yeah, you should probably do that.
But you probably shouldn't have any. You should probably keep on top of them. Let's see. So we walk through searching,
go to, we did that.
Yep, how to
go to John Doe, we did that.
So as soon as someone calls in, you're going to want to hit that go to button, type in the first few initial letters of their name, and then pull up their profile. That way it's right in front of you. You know their phone numbers, you know their address, you can see their notes, you can add notes if you're talking about something that needs follow-up, whatever it is, you can do it all right there.
Okay, so just to recap really quick before we get into this week's homework. Let's go back to last week's homework. So I want your newsletter done. Kim has emailed your newsletter to you in Publisher. So if you're having trouble with that, email us. You should have got that. I need a newsletter done.
Or call us.
Or call us, of course. We want to get your newsletter done. What else? We want to get that rubber stamp ordered. We want to get that spreadsheet that's on here, though. Prepare your client's prospect spreadsheet so we can upload it. What else was there? The bio. Let's get your bio. If you don't have a bio by yourself, there was that template that Kim emailed out to you.
Biography questionnaire. Just fill in the particular information. We will create the biography for you.
Call up a JCPenney if you're not in the area. If you're in the area, use Madison. If you're not, call up a JCPenney, get an appointment to get your professional picture done. If you don't have one, you might have one already.
If you do have one, great. All we need you to do is send us an email with your biography if you already have one. If not, send us that biography questionnaire, and also send us your professional picture. If you don't have one, you can have Madison take one here if you're in this area in San Diego. If you're out of the area, you can go to JCPenney, as Mark said. And I do know that in the Iowa, in the Ankeny group there is somebody in your group named Michelle Fantz.
Larry Roberts group, right?
Yep, in Larry Roberts group. And she does take professional pictures. So if you want, reach out to Larry, get her contact information, and see if you can't set up an appointment to meet with her. And if you're here in San Diego, come in and have Madison do it. She does it for free.
And also, I want you guys to remember Mark with a C, M-A-R-C, at bridalwoodinsurance.com, and Kim is K-I-M at bridalwoodinsurance.com. So either one of those, and then the Madison, the Chanel, the Kim, and the Mark are the 4 emails you guys want to remember and write down.
And you can reach any of the 4 of us by phone at 858-753-7000. So next week, as a recap, we want to have you send in your biography and your professional picture to us. We also want in another email for you to send in your completed, corrected newsletter with all your information and your mailing list. If you've got 1 or 10 or something like that, don't worry about it. That's fine. You have to start somewhere. But just mail us what you have. We'll work with it, and it, hopefully we'll help you grow it so that you've got thousands of people on that list. But right now, whatever you have, just send it in.
You gotta start somewhere.
Yep, absolutely.
I started 2.5 years ago with nobody.
Remember, if you create your newsletter and you have less than 150 clients, we will print it here for you for now, for the first 6 months or so. We'll print it for you and for free, and we will also do your mailers for you up to 150. We want you to stamp them yourself, the envelopes yourself, and that's probably about it. The mailing is bulk mail. Just keep that in mind. So the quicker you get it to us, if you're out of the San Diego area, the quicker your clients will receive it, because the bulk mail does tend to run a little late.
And prospects.
Yep.
Also, remember, next week we're going to do product training. So find the 2 heavy hitters in your area for an MAPD, which is the Advantage plan.
The best Advantage plan.
And the best supplement plan in your area. So what company, what provider, United Healthcare, Humana, Aetna, what is your big
Anthem,
Blue
Cross Blue Shield,
any of those.
And just get the sales kit that has the breakdown of all the benefits.
The plan book, yes.
Yep, the plan booklet.
And you reach out to your agent managers, like we told you in the first week. Always use your agent managers, and they can help you get a plan book in your hands, and that'll really help you next week when we do this, as far as going through, because we want to be specific to your area as much as we possibly can.
Right. And if you aren't in a position to get together with your agent manager and get a physical copy, talk to your agent manager and they can help you download a copy. Usually almost all of these carriers have it on their website where you can download the highlights or the summary of benefits.
Correct. And also, Kim said in the first time when we did this without recording it, I remember she mentioned the fact that these are basically, the base product is almost always the same. There'll be some different stuff in different states and different cities, but the main, Advantage plan and supplement plan have their
the basic structure is the same. So you'll be looking at and seeing different numbers for co-pays and premiums and stuff, but the actual structure of the plans themselves will be the same. So it should work pretty slick.
Correct.
I think we're going to probably be speaking about the plans that are, very prominent here in San Diego, and we'll be talking about some of those co-pays, but you just need to be following along in your particular plan book, and look at the co-pays for your area. So look at the primary care doctor's copay, the specialist copay, hospital stay copays, and the length of the hospital stay, things like that.
And we'll rely a lot on the chat.
Yep.
For you guys, we'll have a lot of questions next week, so please use the chat button. We're talking about maybe opening it up to the phone callers we can open that up and unmute you. Maybe you have questions like that too. We'll see.
Right.
We'll talk about that as a group and find out if that works out best.
But for now, until we tell you differently, please, if you are going to log in and watch us online in live time, make sure that you don't unmute yourself. We will mute everybody. It just keeps the background noise and the swearing and the big, bold conversations going on all around you. It just keeps that to a minimum. So if you just remember that you are muted, don't unmute yourself. We will take questions in the form of a chat, and maybe we'll open it up at one point to some questions that can be asked verbally. Okay?
All right, I think we've got it all covered, Kim.
Yep.
We apologize for this little faux pas that we had.
Yeah.
But I think we covered it pretty quickly and
succinctly. Remember, again, next week we want you to have your spreadsheet ready. We want you to have your spreadsheet mailing list and your newsletter emailed to us. Also, if you are going to continue to participate, we want you to make sure to email Mark with your name, phone number, and email address. That's the only way that we can make sure you're on the roster for the boot camp and make sure you keep getting all of the important emails we send out that have the study material, the plan material, anything else to do with the boot camp. We have over 300 agents, and we can't be emailing all of this information out to all of them. It would just junk up their mailboxes. So make sure to get in touch with Mark, give him that information.
All right.
All right, and next week we'll probably do is recap this. What I really do want you to do, though, if you do nothing else today, make sure that you contact either Chanel or Madison, and they're going to provide you the link to the CRM system, your username, and your password, and I want you to go ahead and log into it. Now, if you haven't already sent your spreadsheet to Madison, there's not going to be anything in there, but then start populating it. I want next week, when we get together, I want you to, if you can, and you're logging on, have your laptop in front of you or your desktop, and make sure that you've got your CRM system pulled up, because what we're going to do next week is walk through populating a new lead or prospect. You should have at least one of them in there. Make something up. Put your parents in there and put in bogus numbers for their date of birth and stuff, but have at least one dummy prospect or lead already entered in there so that you can kind of follow along. And it also helps you to then ask questions. Well, what's this field for? Or what, couldn't I do this? Or how do I do that? We just want to have at least one person entered into your CRM system and have that CRM system with you next week. Okay?
All right, I think we're done. Everybody have a great week. Remember what's a good ending quote would be something like, remember, people don't care what you know until they know you care.
That's true.
That's a good
That's
one.
a good one, yeah.
So remember that, guys. Have a good week, and we will see everybody on next Monday.
And make sure to reach out to us either through email or call us if you have any questions.
So Kim will be getting out those emails to you guys with all what just happened by tomorrow morning, I would think.
Yep.
Okay.
All right, great. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you. Have a great
Look forward to seeing you next week.
Bye-bye.